to the Menzies School of Health Research podcast series for the NT Youth Health Summit initiative called Youth Choices, Youth Voices, where we aim to hear from young people and specialists about youth health priorities in the NT. A special shout out to our sponsors for this event, including Hot North, CDU, the Northern Territory Government, NTPHN, Bridging the Gap, Ironbark Corporation, and Charter Air. I'm Lateesha Jeffrey, and today on episode 14, I'll be having a chat with young Territorian Emma King. Emma is a young Gurindji woman who was born in Darwin and attends Year 11 at Marrara Christian College. As a descendant of the stolen generation, Emma is passionate and committed to challenging social injustice within society and her school community by advocating for greater recognition of the struggles faced by Aboriginal students. Outside of this, Emma is a keen oil painter and enjoys social touch football. Emma is a member of the NT Youth Roundtable for 2021 and hopes this experience will give her the opportunity to brainstorm ideas to make the Territory a greater community and to understand more broadly the issues young people face in different regions. Welcome to the podcast, Emma. Thank you for joining me. How are you going today?
Thank you for having me. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm pretty excited. I think your scenery looks great. It's nice to know, like, you're obviously at school, so this is real life stuff.
Yep, sure is.
So we'll get straight into it. So you're a current member of the NT Roundtable. Can you tell us a little bit about this and what is the best part about being involved in this initiative?
Yeah, so the NT Youth Roundtable is pretty much an initiative to bring together young Territorians 25 years and younger, and we all just come together. We meet 4 times a year, and then in between we have like little Zoom meetings, and we just try and fix the world. we just talk and we share our ideas and our experiences, and it's a good place to come together and discuss things that are important and are things that are important to us.
Thank you, Emma. And you have advocated for change within your school community, specifically for Aboriginal students. Can you tell us a little about your experience of advocating for change?
Yeah, sure. Advocating for change in a school is like advocating for change anywhere. It's arduous. It takes a long time. It's hard. You get pushback. You find allies that really support you and help you. But at the end of the day, when you're trying to make change, you have to ask people to give up something. People have to say, I've thought about this wrong. They might have thought they were doing it right, and now they have to rethink that, or they have to give up a certain position. And that's where you get that pushback. And it rarely comes from a place of true malice, but just from more of a place of self-interest at the end of the day. But my school's been pretty good. We have a lot of Aboriginal students here. And for me, advocating for change for Aboriginal people is at the core of what I do and at the core of what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So it made sense to start now, like, why wait? And I could see some problems and I could see solutions to fix those problems. So I just sort of presented them, and I've just continued to try and change things for the better for Aboriginal people. Yeah.
I believe it is amazing that someone at your age can not only identify problems, but also identify solutions as well, because that'll just make you so much more successful in life, to be able to go, okay, here's all of the issues that are going on, and then here are some actual solutions that I believe will assist us. So it's amazing to hear someone like you say that. So, and if young people saw something they didn't think was fair or was unjust, what advice would you give them in advocating to make a change, and what might be the first step for them?
Well, look, change making, right, in a school context or even in a workplace context, you have to have a lot of conviction. You have to really care about what you're talking about, because it isn't easy. It might start and you're on that high and you've got these solutions and you've seen these problems and you're feeling like you're on top of everything, and then you can present it to people and they totally disregard it, or they totally give you pushback. So unless you fully believe in what you're saying, it's going to get really tough. So the advice I would give to young people is work on the things that really matter to you. And also, if you're in a school environment and you see something that's wrong and you want to make change, follow the process first, the systems that are in place, because that's how you get leverage. Honestly, is you go and you say it to your teacher, and if your teacher does nothing, then you can go to the next level and you say, well, I followed that process, and then all of a sudden you can be sitting with the principal talking about it, because you're saying, I followed all your orders, but I didn't get a response back. And that's how you can just take it up to that level. And that's a really good way to get started. But for that, you have to have a lot of courage. You just have to do it. Don't overthink it. Just go and present, go and email, write letters, do whatever you have to do to get your voice heard, because people do want to hear young people's voices. I hope, for my own sanity, I hope people want to hear young people's voices, especially in a school. So for the most part, they should listen to you eventually. And if they don't, then you have another problem that you need to solve. So yeah.
That is really great advice. And as well as going to school, advocating and working, you also play touch football and do oil painting. So how important do you think it is to maintain a balance of different activities in your life, and what benefits does this have for you?
It is so important. It is so important to be able to balance fixing the world with doing other things and doing what you like to do. Because if you're constantly slaving away at issues, it can feel like everything is the issue. Everything around you can feel really negative, especially if you're not making the change that you were hoping that you would make in the period of time that you thought you were going to do it. Because most of the time, change making takes so much longer than you think it would, because to you it makes so much sense, but then to other people it doesn't, and so it just takes so long. But unless you really have other things as well that can calm your mind, that you can sit back on and you can have fun with, it can get really depressing, and it can really weigh down on you, because you can feel a lot of responsibility, and responsibility at a young age is really good, but it can also feel really crushing. So it's good to have things that you can step away from that pressure, and you can just have fun, and that's really important for sure.
All right, and the next question is a bit of an extension of what you were just talking about, but it's, what do you think is really important for young people to know about maintaining their health and well-being?
For young people to maintain their health and well-being, it's really important to try and find people around you that you can trust, people that you feel comfortable with and you can talk to. Because if you don't have that, it gets tough. The going gets hard. So for young people, I would just say that most people are good. Look at people and automatically think they're good. And you can get to know people and try and find people in your life that you are going to listen to you, and that you can share a bit of your struggle with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I can entirely agree with that as well. And what do you think some of the main challenges facing young people in the Northern Territory in regards to their health?
Well, look, in regards to mental health, I think at the moment there is such an influx of negative media consumption. So everything that we're fed through the media, through social media, is really negative at the moment, really negative. And it can be all consuming. If you're like me and you're constantly checking like the news or Instagram or Facebook, and you just see negative, because it makes you think the whole world is negative, and it can make you think that everything is really bad all of the time. So I think that is certainly a struggle for young people and adults. I'm sure that gets to adults for sure. But in a broader health sense, the Northern Territory has some horrendous health disparities between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Australians. Certainly that is something that we have to struggle with every single day. Life expectancy, rheumatic heart fever, all these things that really contribute to Aboriginal health disparity. Yeah, could be here all day.
Yeah, I know, and you were so insightful. But honestly, thank you so much, Emma, for joining the podcast today. I know personally, with a 4-year-old daughter, it makes me very proud that we have people like you in our community that are leading the way and are going to be positive mentors for her, for my nieces, and for the generations to come as well. So Yeah, thank you. And did you have anything else you'd like to have before we go, or a message to young people? Additional messages? You've got so much information. It's amazing.
I guess my concluding message to young people would be, you have so much more power than you think you do. You truly do. And you have so much more insight than you think you do. And you shouldn't let older people tell you that you're too young to know what you're talking about. Because if you're an Aboriginal student, you live what it means to be Aboriginal every single day. You know what that means. So don't let anyone tell you differently. You can do it. You can do it yourself. You can do anything you want. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And that's a great message to end with. And that was the 14th episode of our Menzies School of Health Health Research podcast series for the NT Youth Health Summit initiative called Youth Choices, Youth Voices. It is always so inspiring to hear what young people, services and health research professionals in Australia are doing to make a difference to young people's health and wellbeing. And it's great to hear about the importance of listening and engaging young people. Thank you again, Emma, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
If you can, please support the Youth Health Summit initiative by getting in touch via the Menzies School of Health Research website. Thank you for listening. Please join us again next time.